So hello to you guys. We're going to work on reading number 279, learning by doing. When you learn something by doing that, it means you're experiencing that. First thing first, you experience that and you learn that through doing, not just reading theories and whatnot. And the main concept is about that. The overview of the text is about that. Look at the first sentence. An analysis of more than 500 graduates found no significant difference between business schools that offer traditional courses and those refers to schools that emphasize a learning by doing approach to entrepreneurship education. So we're going to have entrepreneurship education. And here we have business schools that offer some courses, traditional courses, and those schools that offers that emphasize, that put emphasis or emphasize a learning by doing approach. A learning by doing approach, it means experiential approach. It means you experience that. You have to always paraphrase the phrases, words, sentences. You have to ask yourself, what is another way I can look at this sentence? How can I paraphrase that? How can I summarize it into short phrases, into 1 to 2 words even? So don't just read, think a bit. So entrepreneurship education. So there was an analysis that showed there is no difference, no significant difference. Maybe there was difference, but no significant difference. So there wasn't difference between traditional ways and the schools that offer experiential approach. So it means they're somehow the same. It means they are somehow the same. Look at the other way. When there is no significant difference, it means they are somehow the same. The research challenges the ongoing trend. The ongoing trend. This ongoing trend means this, that the first sentence stated. The ongoing trend across higher education institutes, HEIs, on experiential learning. Look, the research challenges the ongoing trend across higher education institutes on, the preposition is on, experiential learning. Now look at the options. Acclaiming, turning on. Basically, we say turn to. Spreading on, getting dispersed, no. Focusing on. Higher education institutes of focusing on experiential learning. So they focus on it, means they have more emphasis on it. And suggest that universities need to reconsider their approach if they increase entrepreneurship among their students. So they have to reconsider, rethink, reassess their approach if they want to increase. This is my guess. You should have always a guess about the blank, the most accurate one. If they want to increase entrepreneurship, so they have to change their attitude, their approach, if they want to increase entrepreneurship, increase this spirits among students. So I said if they want to. Now look at the options. If they are increase, if after are you need ing verb. So here we have increase. This is simple verb. If they are to, can be, look at the other options. If they going to are is missing from this phrase. If it had are, it would be the option. And if they to, again, it doesn't make sense. If they to, again, something is missing. The best option is if they are to. Now you might ask yourself, or you might ask me, what is are to? Now I'm going to explain it to you. Look, be plus 2, it has 2 functions. It's going to talk about something in the future. Basically, it's about instructions instructions, telling you what you should do, what should be done and what not. And the first one is about something in the future, something that is going to happen in the future. And now here, are is our be verb and to is the to, is the structure. Be plus to here, we have are to because the subject is they are to. Now it means that they are going to do something and they are planning or they have planned for it or it is fixed or it is about to happen. It means it is about, excuse me, to happen. If it is about to happen, it is supposed to happen. It is supposed to happen. You know, we have planned for it, so it is fixed. If they are to, it means if they're going to, if they're supposed to increase, if they ever want to. So here is the structure. So this is one of the structures that is talking about future alongside with will, alongside with going to, and alongside with present continuous. They're talking about future. Now, Miss Ina Kozlinska, I don't know, research associate at Aston Business School and author of, no, while you're reading, while you're skimming, you don't need to read these. You don't need to read dates. You don't need to read examples. You don't need to read statistics unless they have some key phrases, but you don't need them in order to, if you want to get the main or gist of the text, you don't need to read them. You don't need to read names. You don't need to read anecdotes, stories, examples, cases, I don't know, whatever, analysis. You don't need to read them. Just focus on the keywords. Entrepreneurship education, she said, entrepreneurship education is a major force capable of generating long-term socioeconomic changes through developing entrepreneurial, creative, flexible, and wise individuals. So entrepreneurship education, I said is, or could be, I don't know, is seen, has seen, sees, is seeing. Now, there's a problem here. Entrepreneurship education, if you say has seen or sees, you are treating entrepreneurship education, which is our subject, as the main active subject. It means it is doing something. Now, it is doing what? If you say has seen what? For example, you can say, I have seen my friend. So you've seen something. Now, let's see what entrepreneurship education has seen. Has seen as a major? Does it make sense? No. Or sees as a, sees who? Sees what? As a major doesn't make sense again. Is seeing and is seen. Again, is seeing who? Three of them are somehow active, but the structure is passive. Now, if this option ever wants to be an active, a passive, there should be a been in between has and seen, has been seen. So we don't have been here, so it is out. So we need a passive form. Entrepreneurship is seen, how it is seen, as a major force capable of generating long-term, we read that. So is seen, it means everybody sees entrepreneurship education as a major force, or researchers see it as a major force. There is an ongoing shift towards experiential learning. Look, experiential learning, it is exactly like learning by doing. Same thing, I said, you do it through experience. So it is experiential learning. You experience it and you learn something. We call it experiential learning. In business schools, so there's an ongoing shift, ongoing change towards, just because they're not blank, you shouldn't just walk away and don't look at them. Shift toward, it means you change towards something. You're approaching something in a new way. So there's an ongoing shift towards what? Experiential learning in business schools. As you can see, the main one was here. You could easily guess what's going to happen, and it happened here. Schools, there is little empirical evidence. There's, when I say empirical, it means based on experience, not based on theory, based on practice, practical evidence, what has really happened. There is little empirical evidence. Now, you might ask yourself, if there is little empirical evidence, or if there's little evidence, why there's an ongoing shift towards experiential learning? If you don't have enough proof to back it up. So it is. You might ask yourself, but you face the sentence. If we have this sentence, we cannot do anything about it. Only put something here that connects these two opposing sentences. You know, basically you, up to now, up to this part, you wanted to see something promising. You wanted to see something that support this sentence. Okay, in business school, we have some experiential learning approach in business schools, and there's going to be some other good things about it, but you don't see that in the upcoming sentence. You would see there's little empirical evidence to suggest this approach has better impact than traditional learning. Oh, it is putting the previous sentence under question. How is it possible? You know how it's possible? How can we join these two sentences? Now you might ask, and you would see these options, yet, unless, besides, so. So cannot be, because the second one is not the result of the first one. Definitely not. They're opposing. So cannot be. Besides, you're adding this fact to this fact. Is this fact a continuation of this fact, or are they aligned? Hell no. Unless and yet. Unless means if not. Now let's see how will it turn out if we put if not. Look, there's an ongoing shift towards experiential learning in business schools. There is if there isn't empirical evidence. I said if not. Unless means if not. If, negative. If there isn't. Isn't, not, if is here. If there isn't, so there's a condition here. It's conditional somehow. If there isn't little empirical evidence, we would have this. No, it doesn't make sense. If there isn't empirical evidence. If there isn't evidence, how can you prove this? Again, it doesn't make sense. There should be so much evidence for it. So again, unless cannot be, only yet is the answer. And as I told you in the beginning of this phrase, in explaining this section, I told you this sentence, this phrase, this clause is in contrast with the previous one. You didn't expect it to happen, but it happened and it's there. So how can you join them? By yet. Yet is a conjunctive adverb. It joins two opposing sentences. That's the function of yet. Yet there's little empirical evidence. It means in spite of that, there is little empirical evidence. You know, you can change this sentence with although. Although there is little empirical evidence that just blah, 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 comma, there's an ongoing shift towards experiential learning in business schools. So they have the same function, yet, although, however it is, but the positions and how their functions really does matter. So here we use yet. So that was all about this reading. Thank you for watching.